Hello, in this video I just want to go through this worksheet with you just to kind of give you a feel for what it is we're looking for and what our goal here is. Okay, first thing is you're going to pull up the worksheet. Boom. First thing, put your name here and then your period, whatever period you are, and your name. This way we make sure you get credit for it. And the goal of this worksheet is just to put together some ideas on paper, some of your goals. So I would really like this worksheet to be your goals, not my goals or what you think that I want you to have or what your parents want. This is about you. So I'm not going to grade you off if you say that you want to save for this thing. Even if it's a crazy idea, but you really want it, go for it. Put it down. That's not a big deal for me. I just want it to be very individualized for what you want. I'm just going to kind of go through it just so you can get a feel for it. Okay, here we go. We've got short-term, intermediate, and long-term. This intermediate is maybe like 1 year to 5 years. Okay, so short-term goals. Let's just list a couple short-term goals that you might have. Maybe you're trying to save for the new iPhone. So you'll put that down here. iPhone. Priority. We'll get to that in just a moment. Don't worry about that right now. Target date. Well, it seems like the new iPhones come out every September or October. Now, we're going to go through in this class how to purchase an iPhone for less money. Okay, so you really want to make sure you're paying attention on that one. So let's say that there's a big hubbub usually in September. Maybe I want to buy one in December. I want to get one for Christmas. Cost estimate. Okay, now, depending on what size phone you want, how you're going to purchase it, that price estimate can vary. But let's just put, for right now, let's just put $750, okay? Next thing, and this is things that you're looking at buying in the next year, right? So we're not putting down like, oh, I want to go out to Taco Bell to eat. Okay, hopefully you don't have to put that on paper. That's not going to be a big, large sum that you're going to be paying at Taco Bell. If it is, I recommend that you choose another restaurant. Okay, so what are we saving for? Maybe you want to take a big trip. Maybe you want to go on the tour. Let's put that. You want to go on the tour, okay, and you're going to need to save your money and you're going to need to go on the tour. You're going to need that money, I don't know, let's say 8 months from now. Okay, and how much does a tour cost? Well, that depends on whether you get scholarships or anything else, or maybe your parents are contributing. I'm just going to put $2,000 right now. Okay, next thing you might need is you're looking at upgrading your laptop. Now, maybe you want to spend, you really care about electronics and it's important that it always works. So you're going to buy this in 6 months. We're just putting 6 months down. But it's very important to you. So you're going to save your money for this one, and maybe you're going to spend $1,000. Again, we're going to go through some concept of how to get this cheaper. That's going to be very important. We don't want to pay a lot for these things. We want to get them at a lower rate. Okay, now we're going to talk about the priority. Let's just look at these three. Of these three, what is your largest priority? Well, for me, I like a phone. I use my phone more than just about anything. So that's going to be priority number one. And second to me is my laptop. I need to have a laptop that's going to work. So that's going to be my second priority, and maybe the tour is number 3. Okay? This is all for you. And what we're going to do with this information is you're going to say, okay, well, I'd like to spend money on a couple different things, but I don't have unlimited funds. So as I'm going to spend it on something, I'm going to take it with my highest priority first. So number 1, I want to buy the iPhone. Number 2, I want to buy the laptop. So I'm going to put all of my money into the iPhone until the iPhone is fully funded. Then once that's fully funded, then we're going to start working on the laptop. Once that's fully funded, then I'm going to start working on saving my money for tours. Okay, so this is really for you, okay? Intermediate, 1 to 5 years, okay. And these are goals, items that you want to purchase in the next, between 1 to 5 years, right? Some of you, as crazy as this sounds, you're going to look at getting married in the next 5 years. That's kind of a different thought, huh? Target date, I don't know what it is. Maybe you're thinking in 3 years you're going to get married. Cost estimate. Estimate on marriage. Okay, marriages can run, I mean, if you go down to the Justice of the Peace, it's going to cost you maybe 50 to 100 bucks. And then if you want a big, lavish wedding, it's going to cost you millions, right? So somewhere in between there, about the average one is about $20,000 right now. And if you're paying for this out of your own pocket, no problem. You just need to make sure you save for it. I'm a little bit more frugal, and that isn't something that for one day isn't as big of importance for me. Maybe it definitely was for my wife, so we spent the money on it, but maybe it's not for you. So maybe let's just go in the middle somewhere. I'm going to go $10,000. Okay. Being married or marriage. Okay. Let's say that the next one is that I want to buy a car. Okay, and we're going to get a used car. I want to get that in 2 years from now. And that's going to cost, we're going to go through a lot on how to buy a car, so don't worry so much about how to do that process. We're going to spend a lot of time on that one. Let's say we're going to get a good used car for $5,000. Another thing is a house. I'd really like to move into a house. And house, well, maybe in the next 5 years, maybe not a house just yet, huh? But I would like to save for college. I'd like to go to college, you know, graduate high school. I want to move on to the next stage and go to college. And college, let's say that I'm going to do that in, I don't know, 2 years from now. And colleges range, and depending on what scholarships you get, will cost less money with more scholarships that you get. But let's just say a 4-year college, I get some good scholarships, I'm staying at home so I can save a lot of money. Maybe it's going to cost me $40,000. Okay. And, well, if I'm going to get married, I probably am going to set aside some money for a wedding ring. Wedding rings, we're going to talk about those. Hopefully that'll be maybe 2.5 years. Maybe I get 2.5 years. Maybe I get engaged 6 months before I get married. 2.5 years. Wedding ring, and that, again, can cost anything from a less expensive ring, maybe $100, up to tens and twenties, thousands of dollars, right? Let's kind of go somewhere in between, maybe somewhere around $3,500. I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to prioritize these. Well, to me, it's college education is the most important, so I'm going to put that as priority number 1. Number 2 is going to be my car. Wedding ring, hopefully that comes before the marriage, right? If you're doing the marriage before your wedding ring, or maybe you decide not to get rings. You don't have to get a ring. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just trying to put things on paper that you can start saving for. And the goal of this is you're going to look at all of these, and pretty soon you're going to go, okay, this is my highest priority. I want to put the money toward this. Or you go, that's not a big priority for me. And so you're not going to get to it. You're not going to have money for it. Maybe getting married is not an important part for you right now. You want to focus on other things. Great. Just put on paper what your goals are. Long term. Okay, this is going to be things like retirement. Target date on that one. Let's say if I'm maybe 18 years old and I'm looking at getting retired down the road, maybe 45 years. I don't know. Something along those lines. Cost estimate. How much money are you going to need to retire? Okay, that's probably going to be about $5 million. I want you to have a good retirement, right? We're not in this class. You're not going to be saving money to be pinching pennies in your retirement. So we're going to have $5 million. And just start putting things on this paper of things that you want. And then once you get them all in there, prioritize them. What's most important to you? But the big thing is, I want it to be something specific that you want. Not something that I want you to have, but something specific that you want. Okay? All right, so fill this out and then submit it. I'm excited to see what your entries are going to be, but please make it something that you want. So, you know, think about anything you've got there, whether it be electronics or vacations or moving out. Maybe that's a cost that you want to start saving for. So anyway, okay, thank you.